In Women's History Month, we are examining what progress the country has made since the dawn of the Me Too movement 3 years ago, in which women started speaking out about abuse suffered in professional and personal settings, often at the hands of men who were supposed to have their best interests in mind. Some of Hollywood's biggest stars are now the subject of some new serious allegations. Let's talk about this more by welcoming to the 9 this morning media executive and pop culture expert Jacquie Jordan. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Good morning, Garcia. Thanks so much for having me here. And yes, the Me Too movement's been absolutely necessary, but it's also been very inconsistent. As a woman-owned business and the publisher who picked up Tara Reade's book left out when the truth doesn't fit in, when nobody else would touch her story, all accusers deserve dignity and respect and an independent investigation. And we see a lot of inconsistency in that. For example, Academy Award-winning actor Casey Affleck, who won the Academy Award for Manchester at the Sea, also had serious allegations brought up in a professional setting for when he was doing the film I'm Still Here, even when he admitted that it was an unprofessional environment. So anytime it's a person of power or place of employment, allegations should definitely be followed up, showing respect, dignity, and an independent investigation. It becomes a little bit more difficult when it's a long-standing personal relationship like that of Marilyn Manson that's just come out with Evan Rachel Wood, or in the case of the Shia LaBeouf story, just because, and it's not to say that it's not true or the allegations aren't true, it just becomes a little bit more dicier when it's a personal relationship as opposed to a professional or a relationship of employment. And with that said,
well,
are all women telling? Go ahead. Yeah. I was going to say,
I'd like to pick up on one of the. Right. Well, so let's pick up on one of the couples you just mentioned, Shia LaBeouf and FKA Twigs. She came under a lot of scrutiny for speaking out about the relationship, and she said in a public interview, "I will not answer the question about why didn't you leave your abuser, because the question society needs to be asking is, why was the abuser doing what he did?" Is there at least some sort of empowerment going on here?
Well, absolutely. It takes tremendous courage, and I got to witness that with working on Tara Reade with her book, to come forward. It is not easy to either speak out against a boss or somebody that you loved, to say that they're an abuser. And as the point I was going to say are all women telling the truth? That is not a universal assumption that all women tell the truth too, because it's also easy to want to take out a powerful man with false actions. And investigations are really necessary to keep a fair and equal balance on both sides. And in the case of Armie Hammer, can we just talk about the cannibalism that was said? Is this just pillow talk? I don't know, but if that is actually anywhere close to the truth, and that actually needs to be examined further and not glossed over haphazardly either, because that goes into a whole different territory. And then, of course,
let's talk about one of the cases that started the Me Too movement, and that, of course, is Harvey Weinstein. He's spent about a year in prison now. Another man who was accused early on, Kevin Spacey, has largely disappeared from public view. Is it up to corporations to police this sort of activity? Is it up to the victims to speak up? Because the problem is ongoing, clearly.
Well, Garcia, you bring up a really great question, because even in my time in Hollywood and having even produced for television both Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, I can say that the systems protect the predators, and that is definitely a problem that needs to be looked at. And as a publisher of Tara Reade's book, all these stories deserve an independent investigation.
All right, Jacquie Jordan, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.